India has a huge pool of scientists, of engineers, of medical personnel. And India, besides China, is one of the two countries that is graduating extremely large numbers of highly skilled individuals. The numbers in the United States in comparison are very, very small. And so there is a natural complementarity between the US economies and the Indian economies when it comes to the use of labor. And so I'm hoping that over a period of time, the US will be creative enough to find ways of allowing Indian labor to become part of the US economy. Now, we've made advances, but there's much more to be done.
And what is your take on trust initiative that is being brewing between India and US? Though I'm not sure how far it has reached, given the tariffs and the reciprocation and the 90-day pause. But how do you look at it?
So I see it as a very bold initiative, but it is still, for most part, aspirational at this point in time. We have to see what the next few months bring. My own preference is that we start working on the trust agenda in parallel with dealing with the trade agenda. But it may just not be possible. But all the same, I am optimistic that over the long term, trust will be a very big step forward.
In your perspective, what are the future prospects for automobile sector in India?
The automobile sector is going to be a growth sector, but the question really is going to be what the transition between internal combustion engine automobiles to EVs are going to be. And here there are very, very difficult challenges because the most efficient, the cheapest EVs, and sometimes even the most technologically sophisticated EVs are Chinese. And it will be a tough sell for India to open its market to Chinese EVs at this point in time, for both economic and for political reasons. So how India manages to walk that tightrope, I think remains to be seen. Well, the point is the challenge the Chinese economy has is overcapacity. And because it has overcapacity, it's an investment-driven economy. It's not a consumption-driven economy. And because it has overcapacity, it has to sell the goods it is overproducing somewhere, right? The simplest way to sell those goods is to essentially sell them at sub-market prices. And so dumping becomes a natural avenue for China to deal with its overcapacity. Now, we can push back by imposing tariffs on China and so on and so forth. But the longer term strategy is to really persuade China to shift to a different model of economic growth. And until that is done, we are going to have problems with China perpetually with respect to dumping and overproduction.